The summer of 2024 will be remembered for its unforgiving heat. It was a season that tested the limits of human endurance and the resilience of our planet. Across the globe, temperatures soared to unprecedented heights, breaking records and claiming lives. Cities that had never experienced such extreme heat found themselves grappling with the new reality. From the scorching deserts of California to the bustling cities of India, a relentless heat wave held the world captive. The air shimmered with heat and the ground was too hot to touch. Europe, too, was not spared, with wildfires raging across the continent. Forests that had stood for centuries were reduced to ashes, and the skies were choked with smoke. These extreme weather events painted a grim picture of a planet warming at an alarming rate. The statistics were staggering, with scientists warning that this could be the new normal if action is not taken. Millions of people were under heat advisories, seeking refuge from the oppressive temperatures. Cooling centers became lifelines, offering a brief respite from the relentless heat. Hospitals overflowed with heat stroke victims, and the death toll continued to rise. Medical staff worked tirelessly, but the sheer number of patients was overwhelming. The elderly, the very young, and those with pre-existing conditions were particularly vulnerable. Communities rallied to protect their most at-risk members, but the challenges were immense. This was not just a summer of discomfort, it was a summer of crisis. The events of this season served as a stark reminder of the urgent need to address climate change and protect our planet for future generations. The United States bore witness to the full fury of the 2024 heatwave. From coast to coast, the country baked under an unrelenting sun. Death Valley, California lived up to its name, recording 9 consecutive days above 125 degrees Fahrenheit. Las Vegas, Nevada, a city synonymous with heat, shattered its all-time record, reaching a scorching 120 degrees. The consequences were dire. Wildfires, fueled by tinder-dry vegetation and driven by strong winds, tore through California and the Pacific Northwest. Thousands of acres of forest were reduced to ash, and the air quality in major cities plummeted. Heat-related deaths were reported across the country, a grim reminder of the deadly potential of extreme heat. India, a country accustomed to hot weather, faced an unprecedented heatwave in 2024. Temperatures in April and May soared past 120 degrees Fahrenheit for days on end, pushing the limits of human endurance. The capital city of Delhi experienced its hottest night ever recorded, with the mercury hovering above 95 degrees. The impact on the Indian population was devastating. Hospitals were overwhelmed with patients suffering from heat stroke and dehydration. Power grids, unable to cope with the increased demand for air conditioning, buckled, leaving millions without electricity. The heatwave exposed the vulnerability of India's infrastructure and the urgent need for climate adaptation measures. Europe, typically known for its mild summers, was not spared from the 2024 heatwave. Southern Europe in particular was hit hard, with countries like Greece, Portugal and Spain battling raging wildfires. The Mediterranean landscape, already parched from a lack of rainfall, became a tinderbox, with flames spreading rapidly through forests and villages. The heatwave had deadly consequences. Tourists, unprepared for the extreme temperatures, collapsed from heat stroke, and several fatalities were reported. The wildfires caused widespread destruction, displacing communities and decimating ecosystems. The 2024 heatwave served as a stark warning that even the most developed countries are not immune to the impacts of climate change. The 2024 heatwave, while shocking in its intensity, was not an isolated event. It was part of a disturbing trend that has been escalating over the past few decades, with each year seemingly hotter than the last. It was a clear and alarming manifestation of a planet warming due to human activity. The signs are everywhere, from the melting glaciers in the polar regions to the cracked, dry earth in once fertile lands. The burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial activities have significantly altered the composition of our atmosphere. These human activities have released massive amounts of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, causing the Earth's temperature to rise. The science is undeniable and the evidence is overwhelming. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, has been at the forefront of climate research. This leading international body for the assessment of climate change has stated unequivocally that human influence is the dominant cause of the observed warming since the mid-20th century. Their reports are based on extensive research and data analysis. The 2024 heatwave was a stark reminder that climate change is not a distant threat. It is a present danger that is already affecting our daily lives. It is a present danger manifesting in more frequent and severe weather events such as wildfires, droughts and heat waves. Its impacts are being felt around the world, disrupting ecosystems, economies and communities. The urgency to act has never been greater. Section 6. A world overheating beyond Europe, India and the US. The 2024 heatwave extended its reach far beyond Europe, India and the United States. Across Asia, Africa and South America, temperatures soared to unprecedented levels, wreaking havoc on ecosystems and human societies. In Pakistan, hospitals were overwhelmed with heatstroke victims, while in Japan, heatstroke alerts were issued for millions of people. The global nature of the 2024 heatwave underscored the interconnectedness of the planet's climate system. What happens in one part of the world can have ripple effects across the globe. The heatwave served as a sobering reminder that climate change is a global challenge that requires a global response. Section 7. The human cost. The 2024 heatwave exacted a heavy toll on human life. Thousands of people around the world succumbed to heatstroke, dehydration and other heat-related illnesses. The elderly, the very young, and those with pre-existing health conditions were particularly vulnerable. The heatwave exposed the inequalities in society as those without access to air conditioning, adequate healthcare and other resources suffered disproportionately. Beyond the immediate loss of life, the heatwave had far-reaching consequences for human health and well-being. The extreme temperatures led to increased hospitalizations, strained healthcare systems and reduced productivity. The heatwave also took a toll on mental health as people struggled to cope with the unrelenting heat, the fear of wildfires, and the uncertainty of the future. Section 8. Adapting to a hotter future. The 2024 heatwave served as a wake-up call that the world is ill-prepared for the impacts of climate change. As temperatures continue to rise, heatwaves are expected to become more frequent, more intense, and longer-lasting. Adapting to this new reality is essential for protecting human health, livelihoods, and ecosystems. Adaptation measures can take many forms, from planting trees in urban areas to provide shade to developing drought-resistant crops. Investing in early warning systems, improving healthcare infrastructure, and strengthening social safety nets are crucial for protecting vulnerable populations. The 2024 heatwave highlighted the urgent need for a global effort to adapt to a hotter future. Section 9. Urgent action needed, a global imperative. The 2024 heatwave was a stark and sobering reminder of the urgent need to address climate change. Temperatures soared to unprecedented levels, causing widespread discomfort and health issues. Cities around the world experienced record-breaking heat, pushing infrastructure to its limits and highlighting the vulnerabilities in our urban planning. The science is clear. Human activities are causing the planet to warm at an unprecedented rate, and the consequences are already being felt around the world. From the rapid melting of glaciers to the increasing frequency and intensity of forest fires, the evidence is undeniable. Droughts are becoming more severe, affecting agriculture and water supplies and threatening food security for millions. The time for inaction is over. We can no longer afford to ignore the signs and continue with business as usual. The impacts of climate change are not just environmental, but also social and economic, affecting the most vulnerable communities the hardest. The world must act now to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and avert the worst impacts of climate change. This requires a concerted effort from all sectors of society, including governments, businesses, and individuals. We need to embrace renewable energy solutions and move away from fossil fuels. Transitioning to a clean energy economy is not just an option, but a necessity. Investing in renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, and supporting technological innovations are critical steps. These actions will not only reduce emissions but also create jobs and drive economic growth. Promoting sustainable land use practices such as reforestation and sustainable agriculture is equally important. These practices help sequester carbon, protect biodiversity, and ensure the resilience of our ecosystems. International cooperation is crucial, as climate change is a global challenge that requires a global solution. Nations must come together to share knowledge, resources, and strategies to combat this crisis effectively. The 2024 heatwave was a call to action. It underscored the urgent need for immediate and sustained efforts to mitigate climate change and adapt to its impacts. The world must heed this call and work together to create a more sustainable and equitable future for all. By taking decisive action now, we can protect our planet for future generations and ensure a better quality of life for everyone.